Senator Joe Manchin finally spoke out to give us some insights into how likely he is to block the next stimulus package. Right now, remember, only one Democrat needs to vote against the next stimulus package, and the entire $1,400 stimulus package will fail. This gives senators like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema massive, massive power. And both of them have been targeted as potential Democrats who might vote against the next $1,400 stimulus check package, which means the unemployment doesn't go through, the extended housing aid boost, the schooling boost, the extra EIDL money, none of that ends up going through. Now, both of them end up complaining and have complained about the $15 minimum wage, and Manchin has specifically come out to express that stimulus checks should be more targeted. As a result, the current stimulus package does actually already include more limited stimulus checks by providing a hard cutoff for the $1,400 stimulus checks to adults and adult dependents and child dependents at $100,000 for individual families or individual filers with their families, and a $200,000 cutoff for joint filers, which is a stricter cutoff on checks, especially since these thresholds could easily have been bypassed if you had multiple children previously. Well, Joe Manchin finally spoke out. He's been silent for a good week to week and a half, and he finally spoke out on stimulus again. His response was that he will not support any bill that violates the Senate rules. That's it. That's all he said. Now, this is a very calculated statement. He didn't bag on stimulus checks because last time he got a huge flack when he did. He didn't bag on unemployment or business support or housing support. Instead, he said, I just want to follow the rules. And so we have to unpackage this to understand this a little bit. Basically, what Joe Manchin is doing is he's not complaining about items in the bill, not even the minimum wage. Instead, he is saying he doesn't want to vote for something that the parliamentarian doesn't agree with. Remember the process, folks. After the House passes the stimulus package, likely on the 22nd or 23rd, the stimulus package needs to go to the Senate before anything else can happen. The Senate parliamentarian, who's supposed to be a neutral sort of third party, not a Democrat or Republican, but a neutral person, will then determine if any parts of the proposed bill violate any standing rules in the Senate. And since the budget reconciliation process is being used, which has stricter rules, it's possible that certain things might not survive. For example, the parliamentarian might say, we're not doing a $15 minimum wage. That can't be in a budget recon bill. That needs to go out. And then technically, Democrats have the choice to either agree with that rule or they can vote to overrule the neutral parliamentarian. However, Joe Manchin here is making it clear he will not vote to overrule the parliamentarian. In other words, he's actually gotten a lot softer on his anti-stimulus package arguments. He's softening by just saying, well, look, I'm for it as long as it doesn't violate any of the rules. That's basically what it's saying, or he's saying. To me, it seems like as long as the parliamentarian says go, Joe Manchin is on board. The bigger question now will be, will Kyrsten Sinema be convinced to pass the COVID relief bill that also includes a $15 minimum wage by 2025? On that, we'll have to wait and see. Biden has made it clear that he still supports the $15 minimum wage, and even though in the past he was a little skeptical as to whether or not it would get done, he is in full support of the $15 minimum wage, and he reiterated that this morning. Either way, as Congress is off this week with just a few committee meetings happening, we've got the big GameStop hearing happening tomorrow, which I'll be covering live. It should be 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which does mean we'll have to shift our course member live stream a little bit, but we'll figure that out. But here's the thing, the time frame we do expect for this bill will still follow our expectations. The expectation is the House of Representatives will pass something next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere around 22nd, 23rd. Then it'll go over to the Senate at the beginning of March. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this bill passed by March 15th, which puts us in line for stimulus checks around the first week of April. However, it is possible that the package ends up getting delayed through the end of March before Congress goes on another 2-week recess. And obviously, if the package doesn't pass until the end of March, then we won't see checks until closer to the middle of April. So we'll have to wait and see on that too. On student debt, Joe Biden stated this morning that he will not forgive $50,000 of student loan debt, but that he does want to give $10,000 of forgiveness. He says he does not have the authority to do $50,000. On housing, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have extended the eligibility for mortgage forbearance plans. They've extended these 3 months, so that means if you have a mortgage backed by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, which if you don't know, call the person you make your payments to, the company, and go, is my loan a Fannie Freddie loan, and what kind of forbearance options do I have? Well, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac have said that if you need to take mortgage forbearance, you are now eligible for up to 15 months of mortgage forbearance instead of 12 months. Personally, I'm very optimistic about mortgage forbearance, especially if you can, hook the debt that you have onto the back of any loan. If you then invest the money that you're saving, since you're not making your payment during the mortgage forbearance period, if you can invest some of that, you could pay off all the money that you owe and then some. Which reminds me, you should check out the code down below, HODL, for the amazing programs on building your wealth, including my stock buy and sell alerts. You can also, by the way, search YouTube for Meet Kevin the $0 Mortgage or Meet Kevin Forbearance, and you'll learn a whole lot more about mortgage forbearance. A few questions came through in the comments. Thank you for leaving questions. I do my best to read all the questions and stay away from the people asking you to WhatsApp them. There are so many scammers in the comments. I do my best to hide and ban as many of them as I can, but it's insane how many. YouTube's got to fix this crap. But anyway, a few questions came through. One question came through on the child tax credit. Somebody says, I have a question pertaining to the child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,000 or $3,600 for children under 6. My question is, if I file my taxes right now, it seems for my 2 kids I will get $2,000 each, so $4,000. Should I wait to file my taxes after the bill passes? Would I be getting $3,000 and $3,600 if I wait for the bill to pass? The answer to this is no. These tax credits will apply to your 2021 tax return, not your 2020 tax return. For 2020, you're still stuck with the $2,000 tax credit. Another question came through on the PPP. On the PPP or EIDL, if you do not have a 1099, how do you apply? You apply using your Schedule C, which shows self-employment income on your tax return. That's the update for today. Thank you so very much for watching, and folks, we'll see you in the next one.